Welcome back to the 96th episode of the BatChums podcast. I'm Drew Leiter, and joining me tonight is my co-host, the man, the myth, the new legend who's freezing, Mike Gordon.
Howdy! Don't vaporize me. Oh, ooh, it's it's been a freezing week away, Drew.
You don't have to tell me that.
No, I don't. Yes, both parts of our, but we're in both parts of the country. On that side of the country, they got hit pretty hard with the cold front that came and went. But they say another one's on the way this weekend, maybe. So, ooh, we'll see. But so yes, in the perfect atmosphere to watch a Mr. Freeze two-parter. Whew, almost too perfect, really. It felt like it was, what is it, below 200 below? Zero.
Feels like it.
Yes, it does. It does. Woo! Chilly.
All right, so this is Batman Season 2, Episode 60, The Duo Defy. Episode aired Thursday, March 30th, 1967, directed by Oscar Rudolph and written by Charles Hoffman. When we last saw the dynamic duo, they were trapped in a large vaporizing pipe in Mr. Freeze's frosty hideout beneath Bruce Wayne's arena. With his hands on the controls, Mr. Freeze was in the process of lowering their temperature and then vaporizing them into the Bruce Wayne ice rink above. Holy deep freeze! There is only one plumber that can save them now. Magic Batman. Magic Batman, will the dynamic duo be vaporized into the Bruce Wayne ice rink?
I think the rest of his body was vaporized.
Maybe that's what's happened. Maybe that's why he's only a head.
Maybe. But he always comes out ahead, Drew.
All right, Magic Batman. The evidence points to yes. I guess that's the end.
That's it.
This is the last episode of season 2, so
Good night, everybody. Yeah. So, yep, that's well, yeah. There's a lot of things coming to an end in this episode.
Mr. Freeze tells Galatia that as soon as the tube is completely frost covered, he will activate the vaporizing pipe pump, and Batman and Robin will be a permanent part of the ice rink upstairs. Robin has heard of people freezing to death in places like Siberia, but not in the heart of Gotham City. Batman tells Robin to keep working on that reverse thermal lozenge he gave him. It might do some good. Robin wonders if it will keep him from vaporizing. Batman doubts it. Under the right conditions and with the right temperature, even solid matter, the human body can be vaporized in a split second.
Yeah, the way Robin says that, it's kind of got with a little bit of a ice edge to it, because icy edge to it, because he's like, "Will it keep me from vaporizing?" No.
Yeah. Batman, I feel like I'm evaporating right now. Batman answers that as far as Mr. Freeze is concerned, you are. Mr. Freeze cheers as the tube is completely frost covered. Glacia holds out her hand, calling out "darling" to Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze responds that this is no time to get cold feet. The countdown is over. Time for blast off. Mr. Freeze throws the switch. Batman and Robin are gone, and all the frosting in the tube with it. One moment, mass meddlers, the next, cold creeps. Pump like any freezing mixture right into the ice rink upstairs.
I gotta say, I think, we mentioned before that Eli Wallach brings a certain energy to the role that we haven't had yet, because the two previous actors that played Mr. Freeze were pretty old. And Eli Wallach is no spring chicken, but he's significantly younger than those two gentlemen were. And so he has a lot of youthful energy, if I will say, if I dare say, to use. But man, he lays that accent on very thick. And sometimes you're kind of like, what? I mean, when he does that, when he does that speech about like, as soon as that tube is completely frost covered, which means that the cake crackpots are ready and chilling, then I will activate the vaporizing pipe pump and Baba will be a permanent part of the ice rink upstairs. You're like, oh, okay. Like, I almost
So,
needed subtitles.
so what you're telling me is the two previous portrayals of Mr. Freeze were kind of cold.
No, I didn't say that. Believe me, when I'm gonna use a pun, Drew, I intend it.
Next, Mr. Freeze has Professor Isaacson removed from the quick freezer, hoping he could remember a little more of his secret formula. Professor Isaacson claims that Mr. Freeze has frozen his memory. Mr. Freeze suggests another injection of dry ice might help. One of his henchmen puts the briefcase of money on the table. Mr. Freeze examines it, stating they are all double crossers: Bruce Wayne, Batman, Robin. Galatia chimes in, stating that she wouldn't blame Mr. Wayne. She is sure that he is a man of his word. She met him earlier that night. He came backstage before the performance with Mrs. Harriet Cooper. She's a charming lady. If only she hadn't picked up her compact. Mr. Freeze realizes that was what was happening all the time he thought it was broken. Galatia explains that she told them it was a music box. Some music box, Mr. Freeze continues. It sang a song of underground hidden er, it sang a song of underground hideouts beneath ice skating rinks. Bruce Wayne is no idiot. If Bruce Wayne knows where Mr. Freeze is, then so does the police. Mr. Freeze orders Frosty and Chilblain to take the professor back to the ice wagon. They are going to take the ice sub to the hideout in Gotham Harbor, where they will demand a far greater ransom from the professor, or else they will destroy all of Gotham City. One of the henchmen asks about his seal, Isolde. She has never come back. Mr. Freeze responds that they have just, or Mr. Freeze responds that they will just have to sacrifice Isolde, just another expendable seal.
That's cold, Drew.
That is
That's
cold. But what do you expect from Mr. Freeze? Something stirs within the seal house. It is not Isolde, because she is in a bathtub at police headquarters. Holy escape hatch! It's the Cape Crusaders! Batman explains that most refrigeration systems, as large as the one in Bruce Wayne Ice Arena, have emergency exits. It was lucky Batman remembered the one behind the vaporizing tube. Man, that was lucky, wasn't
the I think also in addition to sacrificing the homing seal, Isolde, he also is willing to sacrifice Glacia Glaze's career as a skater. Because she's like, what about my performance? And he's like, you must choose either your career or me. And she's like, oh, it's no choice. And she goes walking away with him. And I'm like, wow, that didn't take long. Like that's yeah. So he's a pretty cool customer, this Mr. Freeze.
so she's giving ice skating the cold shoulder.
Wow, you are like you are on it.
Hey, we've been freezing all week. All I can think about is the cold.
Yeah, no kidding. Look, it's amazing how fast those puns can come.
With Mr. Freeze gone, Batman decides to return to the Batcave and go up the bat poles. Even crime fighters need their sleep.
We don't I don't know if we've ever heard him mention that before. That they need to like rest before they go again. Like they he like I don't even know if we've ever Well, we've never even, I mean, we haven't seen their bedrooms. We have no idea. Like, I don't think we've ever seen them like go to bed or anything like that. So just the idea of them turning in is just kind of new. I was kind of surprised by that. I didn't even think about it until he said it, and then I was like, wow, that's weird.
They're probably freezing after being in that tube. They probably he wants to go
Well,
home and warm up. Let me climb under some blankets.
yeah, I don't, yeah, I can't blame him for that.
Robin wonders about Mr. Freeze and the other crooks. Batman tells Robin not to worry. Mr. Freeze will be frozen in his tracks before they are through with him. On the dawn of a new
Everybody's got the ice puns. Everybody. I think everybody does say an ice pun at some point, except for maybe Aunt Harriet.
On the dawn of a new day, there is a sea of icebergs off Gotham City Harbor. Mr. Freeze is pleased that his ice magnets have attracted every iceberg from the South Pole to the Arctic Circle. Now no one will be able to tell which iceberg is theirs. Man, that's got to be one powerful ice magnet to be from the South and North Poles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just have to take science and throw it out of the window and into the dumpster in this one because there's not a lot of scientific facts. Although I will say two things that are fairly accurate are that magnets actually improve with cool weather. The colder that they are, the more of a magnetic field you can build. So that's scientific fact. And not that they attract ice, but that's not. But that is but magnets do have a connection with the cold, and the seals do have an incredible sense of honing ability, so that they can home in on and travel great distances to come back home, so to speak, or to go where they need to go. So they do have that is a known fact as well, a trait of theirs. So so it looks like the writer here, Charles Hoffman, was doing a little bit of research anyway. So not, I mean, not much, not much, but a little bit.
Mr. Freeze checks in with the professor. He has written down the secret formula as best as he can remember it. Mr. Freeze checks over the formula and asks the professor how it works. The professor answers he worked out the formula, but he never worked out how it works. What?
I mean, it's on par for the show.
Yeah, it is.
It is a funny moment, and and I do appreciate Eli Wallach's reaction there when he takes a look and he looks at the paper and he's like, I don't know, and he looks and he turns it to one of his goons and he's like, I don't, you understand? I don't understand. Like, how does it work?
Mr. Freeze gets angry with the professor, but Glacia interrupts, stating that Mr. Freeze is being a little rough on the poor professor. Mr. Freeze states that the poor Mr. Freeze states that poor Professor Isaacson will soon become the rich Professor Isaacson. If they can put his secret formula to use for their own gains, they will be rich.
I don't think
Question.
Mr. Freeze
Yeah,
is going to really count this guy in.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, I didn't get that statement.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he might be saying that out loud, but in inside his ice cold heart, he's thinking, "I'm gonna get rid of this guy."
If he's anything like the Grinch, maybe they'll grow three sizes bigger.
I don't think he's anything like the Grinch.
At police headquarters, Commissioner Gordon receives a call from Governor Stonefellow.
Yeah, we've heard him mentioned before, and obviously Stonefellow is the New York governor at the time was Rockefeller, so this is just a sort of take on that. But yeah, not again, not a subtle reference.
The chief executive was just beginning an address to Congress when he looked at his teleprompter, and his speech on the teleprompter had become frozen. And in its place was a message for Mr. Freeze saying that this city, this state, this country would be returned to the Ice Age in a matter of moments, unless we capitulated to all his demands at once. He said to prepare themselves for a little sample of what he had in mind, and then prepare to pay.
I give Neil Hamilton so much credit in during this scene because he is walking, pacing back and forth, and he is saying a lot. And it's not easy dialogue that he's talking about because he's mentioning a thermodynamic freeze beam or whatever they call it, and talking about all this stuff and just going back and forth he starts the thing by saying like everything that has happened up to this point is just peanuts, and then he goes on and on with different analogies and he's just nailing it. And for the most part it's just one long shot that we see this in. So he's doing this without cuts, without a break or anything like that. And yeah, I mean, I know that the character is a dunderhead, but I do give Neil Hamilton a lot of credit because he's delivering these lines in only way that in a way that only he can. He's really good, I think.
Bless me, suspender buttons. There must be some solution. Commissioner Gordon states the solution, as always, rests in the hands other than theirs. Oh, Batman, wherefore art thou?
He says as he puts his hands up, "Where, Batman, where are you?"
As if in answer to his question, the hotline phone rings. Batman states they should have checked in earlier, but they had a busy night. Mr. Freeze escaped them, but they will use every means at their command to track him down.
Yeah, in the words of Chief O'Hara, wherever he art, Commissioner, he heard ye.
Commissioner Gordon tells Batman to hurry. Time now belongs to Mr. Freeze. Back at his icy Noah's Ark hideout, under the direction of Professor Isaacson, Mr. Freeze finishes the thermodynamic ice ray beam. Mr. Freeze turns it on to give Gotham City a small sample of how it works. Frozen assets, frozen pipes, and frozen waste.
Yes, and before you skip to the next thing, I got to give another, props, so to speak, to the prop department because that gun looks cool. That that ray gun, that cool ray gun, freeze ray gun, looks cool. And the way when he pulls the trigger and you see a little bit of ice come out before the ray comes out, it just looks really cool. Like it's functional. Like it, and everything in on the show is usually really cool looking. I'd love to see replicas of a lot of these items when you do see them, um, because they just look well designed. And yes, they look like they could be toys, and that's perfect for this show. Even though there wasn't direct tie-ins like we see later on with children's shows and toys, there's definitely the case to be made that a lot of these could be, I mean, they just look like cool things to play with. So I give again props to the prop department. See, pun intended.
Holy chill blades! The Bat computer is even frozen to its very marrow. Batman concludes that Mr. Freeze is up to another diabolical thermodynamic experiment. I
Yes.
want to know why only one of the Bat computers is frozen. The other ones.
No, don't. That's you're going down a slippery slope of ice, Drew, because because if you start asking why, then this show falls apart. You know by now. This is the end of the second season, Drew. You know by now that it's all bat logic. So if you're down with that, then go for it. If not, you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have a really hard time. Uh, and yes, because um, the cool props to me are greater than the less science logic that is used on this show. So the costumes and the dialogue and the props are greater than the sum of the lack of logic and scientific facts, especially in this episode.
At the risk of sending cold shivers down Batman's back, Mrs. Cooper just heard the most chilling morning broadcast. Batman tells Alfred to say no more.
He really just sort of this say no more, Alfred. And Alfred just kind of looks like, dude, what? Like I need to tell you something. And Batman just puts a basically a bat glove in his face to say like, no, shush.
Batman calls Commissioner Gordon, asks him to arrange a broadcast to Mr. Freeze. Tell him that they await his demands. Batman orders Commissioner Gordon to attach the small echoing seal pulsator, the seal bat signal, if you will, to
Hmm.
one of the seal's flippers and then release him in the Gotham Harbor. They will be able to pick up its wavelength in the bat computer. No doubt it will lead them to Mr. Freeze's iceberg. Iceberg.
No doubt.
Polar ice sheet. Using the Batcopter, Batman and Robin are able to track the seal to Mr. Freeze's iceberg.
Ooh,
Batman doesn't
Batcopter.
think they can land it on it. Yes, the
Batcopter's
Bat.
cool.
Yes, I thought we had already seen the last of the Batcopter, but apparently not.
No, I thought we had two. I think we've seen the last of the Batboat already. But yeah, they're still using the movie footage. They've gotten a lot of mileage out of the movie footage so far, and that'll I don't know if that'll continue into the third season, but they certainly have gotten a lot of it out of it in this second season, and it's cool. It adds like yeah, I mean it's it's footage that we've seen from the movie mixed with stock footage of glaciers in the Arctic. But it's still pretty cool. I think it still works, and you can, it's funny because even though they skip over like actually getting out of the helicopter or landing it, and then getting into the secret hideout glacier, we don't actually see that, but yet in our mind we kind of do. Like they just we our mind kind of fills in the blanks, and I think it's pretty cool that way. Like not everything needs to be spelled out, especially with CG. Yes, I'm talking about what's done nowadays.
Now, I I I remembered when they shot the footage, I saw Robin waving. I didn't know if he noticed that or not. I think we get a closer up shot of him waving at somebody in the movie.
I think
And I
so,
think
yeah.
this one was just farther away. I'm like, oh, Robin's waving. Batman, you know what would have been cool if we would have seen the Batboat going zipping around some icebergs. That would have been
That
cool.
would have been expensive. They couldn't
Yes,
have
it would
done
have
it.
been expensive, but it would have been cool.
It would have been cool. Yes, sure.
Batman orders Robin to inflate the bat pontoons, check the compass, and inform Commissioner Gordon of their location. He and his men may have to come out by Coast Guard icebreaker. Back at police headquarters, Commissioner Gordon learns that the Coast Guard does not have an icebreaker. They've never had the need for one. Commissioner Gordon states they need one now. He doesn't care where they get it.
He
He ain't
is
happy about it either.
he is most irate.
This is one of my favorite scenes. Chief O'Hara comes into Commissioner Gordon's office sporting his Parker.
So so Gordon has this look on his face when he slams the phone down from the Coast Guard guy, and he has this look on his face like, "What in God's name just walked through the door?" And I'm like, what is he looking at? Like, what's coming through the door? And then it cuts, and we see Chief O'Brien come in looking ridiculous.
Commissioner Gordon corrects him. It's Parka. It's a hooded Siberian and Alaskan outer garment. Chief O'Hara states he's no hooded Siberian, but he wonders how he looks. Commissioner Gordon replies that in this particular case, appearance doesn't count. The chief responds he's just trying it on for size. I love that scene. That was hilarious.
Let's go, Nanook. That's awesome.
Commissioner Gordon asks Bonnie to call his daughter Barbara at college and ask her to take a later flight home. She wants to meet her at the airport. He wants to meet her at the airport, of course, but has some cool facts to face first.
Yes, even Gordon is throwing around the ice puns. And of course, it's our second mention of Barbara Gordon.
They're
Is she on?
prepping us.
She's on her way.
Back at Mr. Freeze's iceberg headquarters, Frosty announces that Isolde is back.
Woohoo!
Mr. Freeze cheers, reminding Frosty that he told him she was a homing seal. Mr. Freeze repeats homing twice, realizing this could be a trick.
Homing? Homing? I thought he was just clearing his throat, Drew. I was like, what is he doing? He had an unday. I was like, homing?
Mr. Freeze hurries to the periscope and discovers that the Batcopter has landed just outside the iceberg. Mr. Freeze orders Frosty and Chilblain to activate the ice magnets. They'll pull the Batcopter right into the iceberg, just the way they did the Gotham Queen. Batman doubts that as the dynamic duo comes sliding down two sets of ice ladders. Mr. Freeze demands to know how they avoided being vaporized, landed the Batcopter outside the iceberg, and climbed onto it without his notice, and discovered the entrance to the ice ladders. Glacia asks Mr. Freeze to stop spitting ice cubes.
Because he is spitting mad. That's for sure. He is ice spitting mad. How did you land outside the iceberg and get it on without me seeing you? How did you keep from being vaporized? How did you find the entrance in the ice ladders? How did you? And she's like, darling, come on, man.
Say it, don't spray it. Batman explains it was really quite simple. Thanks to your homing seal, their ice batarangs, and their ice bat ropes. Robin adds also their reverse thermal bat lozenges.
Can't forget those.
Mr. Freeze demands his gun. He tries to freeze the dynamic duo, but his gun has no effect on them. Not with their super thermalized bat skivvies under their costumes.
Uh-huh. Skivvies. First those bat skivvies.
Mr. Freeze orders his Icemen to attack, and a battle ensues. When Mr. Freeze realizes his men are losing, he grabs Glacia's hand and heads towards an exit. He's getting out of there, even though normal temperatures could mean his death, in spite of his collar. Commissioner Gordon and the police arrive, stating that maybe not your death, Mr. Freeze, but at least a good long cooling off period in their local Siberia. Batman has them take Emma Strunk too. She is as guilty as the rest of them. Emma Strunk corrects Batman, stating she is Glacia Glaze. Batman replies that to the world of the rich and renowned, such as millionaire Bruce Wayne, she may be known as Glacia Glaze, but to the world of the crime fighter, you're known as Emma Strunk.
He's really like adamant about that because Robin does the same thing to him earlier, where, he calls her Emma Strunk and he's like, no, Glacia Glaze. And he's like, Emma Strunk. And he's like, Glacia Glaze. And I'm like, what are we like going back and forth here? And he's like really adamant. He's like, I'm not using that name.
Are you bad at her, Batman?
Yeah, he's like that's her criminal name. That's what I'll use. That's who she is. Yeah, it's also I wanted to point out too a couple things in the fight. At one point during the fight, Robin is backed up against the two ladders that they came down, and then he uses those two ladders on either side to spring up and kick both opponents that are backing him into that. And I don't think we've said it. I think we said it maybe in the first season or so. We marked on it, but they've never said on this show what Dick Grayson's origin is. We don't know his backstory. So on this show, as far as this show is concerned, we don't know that he was originally the son of two acrobats in a circus. We don't know that. And yet, I think the show has done a really good job, especially during the fight sequences, to show us that he is acrobatic especially when he fights, because he jumps around. Heck, when he jumps out of the Batmobile, when he jumps in and out of the Batmobile, he's always like jumping around and doing acrobatic things. He's not like, overly acrobatic, but yet during we do have these moments, and I do really appreciate that because it tells us that he's acrobatic without having to like explain why he's acrobatic. And so for those of us who know him from the comics, it just makes sense that he does that kind of thing, and we appreciate it, even if the show hasn't told us exactly why. And I love little moments like that. They look cool. I think Burt Ward and his stuntman both do a good job with jumping around.
Yeah.
The
I don't
other
think
thing, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't think we'll ever see him do the quadruple somersault and Tim Drake find out his secret identity.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't. That's not. Yeah, it would have to go a few more seasons for that to happen, Drew. Um, but the other thing I liked about this the fight sequence too is at one point Batman is sort of been he's sort of fighting with four or five guys. Yeah, like they just come out of the the iceberg. Like there's just a bunch of guys, and I mean, we only see two for most of the episode, but when there's a fight, then all of a sudden there's like 20 of them or something. I don't know. So anyway, there's like four or five guys on Batman, and Robin takes this stuffed taxidermy polar bear, and he rolls it across the floor to bonk into some of the guys and so he saves Batman that way. Um, the polar bear association with Mr. Freeze is something that I remembered from the Batman animated series cartoon. And I may talk about a little bit about that later, but I appreciated that sort of element that they put in there. I know that they weren't referencing that when they did that because they obviously that was, and who knows, maybe the animated series version of Mr. Freeze remembered that and did use the polar bears as a reference to the 60s show because we do see in their own subtle ways that the series did influence everything that a lot of things that have come from a lot of things that we still associate with Batman. Like for example, and I know we've mentioned it before, but the fire coming out of the fire blast coming out of the Batmobile that was started from the TV series, this 60 series, and it continues to this day. I mean, whenever you see a Batmobile, no matter what the design is, it seems like whenever it starts up, you see fire come out of the back. And the reason for that is because of this show. Because it wasn't in the comics.
Nope.
And I doubt it was on the radio. I've never listened to the radio series. And I'm pretty sure it also wasn't in the earlier movie serials, but we might explore that aspect as well. But in any case, it's really specifically refers to it on the 60s show, and there's a lot of like little nice touches that I think will pan out over time. But yeah, I just happened to notice that the use of the polar bear in the fight was was pretty cool and pretty visually interesting. Because otherwise I was like, why is that polar bear there? Because it's been there the entire time, and I've noticed it because it looks cool. Well, kind of. I'm not really into taxidermy, but it looks kind of cool. But I didn't, yeah, what purpose it had, and we give it a purpose here.
Glacia asked Batman that if he ever sees Bruce Wayne and he asked about her and Mr. Freeze, tell him to each his own, as the woman said when she kissed her cow.
Yeah, that is we found out. I mean, that's a reference to the first episode because Batman quotes I think it's Francois Rabelais. He's a French author that to be honest with you, I'm not familiar with at all. But yeah, um, yeah, kissed his cow or cowl? Is it cowl or cow?
I thought it was cow.
Yeah, I thought it was cow as well, but I mean, she said it like it was cow. But I thought when Batman said it in the first episode, it was cowl. But I either way, I, I don't know what it means.
Commissioner Gordon doesn't know how to begin to express Gotham City's thanks. Batman replies that in this case, Gotham City owes most of its thanks to a certain homing seal, Isolde. She deserves more than thanks, but deserves a special reward. Batman pulls a live fish from his utility belt and feeds it to the seal. Robin Robin wonders where Batman got a live fish. Batman states that a true crime fighter always carries everything he needs in his utility belt.
Thinking 10 steps ahead. That's our guy.
Back at Wayne Manor, Christmas came early this year with Dick, Bruce, Alfred, and Aunt Harriet all playing slot cars. Aunt Harriet surprised the boys with a playroom and a new slot car raceway. Alfred was a big help. Aunt Harriet named her car after Glacia Glaze because it's the prettiest car on the raceway. Bruce states his name. Bruce states he named his slot car Emma Strunk for personal reasons.
Yeah, man, he won't let that go.
He won't, will he?
I don't know what I don't know what his obsession is there, but man, he just won't he's like a dog with a bone.
Dick states he named his slot car Isolde. Aunt Harriet thinks that is romantic. Okay. Maybe somebody trying to seal the deal. I don't know.
Ooh.
Alfred,
Drew dropping puns like he's dropping rhymes.
Alfred explains that his slot car seems to into a bit of trouble, so he thinks he'll name it Mr. Freeze.
Oh, that awful man.
Aunt Harriet exclaims, "Mercy alive! That terrible man!" When she thinks of all the trouble he caused and the problems so many people have, like Bruce with his Wayne Foundation and Dick with his essay on the glaciers. Aunt Harriet is glad that she thought of this playroom and this slot car raceway. Bruce agrees. At least for a little while, they can forget their worries and have some fun, Dick adds.
The it really seems like an ad for slot car racing. They don't the only thing's missing is they don't mention a brand name. But I was like, is this an ad for some reason? Because they they do sometimes throw in ads. It was not uncommon to throw in ads during shows at this time. So and we've seen I don't know if we've really mentioned it, but throughout this season, they've kind of mentioned products once or twice, or use catchphrases from advertisers in certain scenes. So of dialogue, we've seen that happen, and at this time, Batman was so huge that they were taking advantage of it. They were, they were keen to do that, and some of the characters did do promo ads during and after the show. Like they would have commercials featuring Alan Napier's Alfred, or I think there's one with Commissioner Gordon and where he's talking about I can't remember what the product is, but there's some product placement ads that they did, some promotion things that they've done. So that was not uncommon. But as far as as far as this goes, it's the final time we'll see Mr. Freeze in this series. Not just this season, but this series. It's the final time it's the final episode of the second series, a season. So there's that. It is the final time. Speaking of product placements, it's the final time. Actually, the last episode was the final time we'll have a window cameo.
Oh, really?
Yep, my understanding is there won't be any more window cameos after this season. So, and to your point, I thought there were a lot more than we've seen.
I thought so too.
I think there was, I don't know how many. We'd have to count them up, but it seems like there were maybe 10, 15 tops, right? Throughout the course of the season, which I would have thought there was at least twice that. So, but we'll see. I just read that, and look, some of the things I've been reading are not exactly, true. So, so we'll find out if that's true. This is also the final appearance as of Madge Blake as a member of the regular cast. She will not be a member of the regular cast going into the third season. She will make some appearances, but because of her failing health, along with budget cuts and a new character coming in, she'll be more or less written out of the series. Yeah, she will make a pair. We will see her again in season three occasionally, but they'll be guest appearances or cameos, if you will, or mentioned off screen. So the character will still be there, but yeah, she will not. You will not see Madge Blake listed in the main title sequence anymore after this. So yeah, that's a lot of it's a lot of final things that are happening as we go into the new season. Um, but what did you think of this Mr. Freeze two-parter as a whole?
I liked it. So I thought it was pretty fun. And I liked how they ended the episode with the slot cars.
Slot cars are cool, man.
And this is
I don't know if they exist anymore, but growing up, those were. I never had a set. I had the Hot Wheels track set instead. But I didn't have slot cars. But slot cars look pretty cool.
I did have a slot car track when I was a kid. It was like in a big old eight kind of thing, and
Hmm.
they'd go up and down, so there's like a second level to it. So they were pretty fun. I like playing with that thing. Wish I still had it. That they had a missed opportunity here. They could have had a Batman slot car track. Man, I would
I
have loved having a Batmobile and a Robin mobile and
Yeah, and a Joke
yep,
Mobile.
Joke
Yeah,
mobile. Yeah.
that would have been yes. I would I would love to have seen that. I would have begged, borrowed, and stealed to get one when I was a kid. That would have been pretty cool. I'm surprised that never happened. Really, I am surprised because and even really like Corgi made, as we've mentioned before, Corgi made the Batmobiles, that we've talked about before, but it wasn't until a long time after that there were Hot Wheels cars. So yeah, I thought it's a I would have loved to have one of these as a kid, um along with my other Hot Wheels going on the track. But that was not to be. That was not to be.
All right. So what would you think of season two overall?
Season two is widely regarded by fans as the beginning of the end. A lot of the fans consider season one sacred and awesome. And season two is like where it kind of starts to go downhill. And I don't know if that's accurate. I think having viewed it again, I would say that season one definitely starts here and continues on pretty well. And then season two, the beginning of it, well, I'll say this too. Let's include the movie. So you've got season one that starts here. The movie takes it way up to here, and then the beginning of season two kind of, I mean, really goes down, and it takes a little bit while to get back up. And so yeah, a lot of the new characters that they try out in the beginning, like the minstrel and the archer and the puzzler, the contract thing with Frank Gorshin hurts them a lot, I think, because we get characters like the puzzler and and then John Astin coming in to try to replace him, and it just doesn't work. And it's unfortunately, I mean, I think Frank would have helped a lot keep that series up a little bit, but still, the three-parter with Joker, Penguin, Joker, Catwoman, and Penguin are still all on point. In fact, I would argue like the one of my favorite episodes I think of the entire series so far, or I should say favorite stories, is the Penguin running for mayor two-parter. And we get that right in the middle of the second season. Um, some of the other characters that come later that they introduce, like Queen of Diamonds and Egghead, are great, and they'll go on. I think I don't know if we'll see Marcia again, but I know we'll see Egghead again. King Tut's used well again here, so I think they ended strong with the Joker two-parter that we just had, as well as the Freeze two-parter was fine as well. Um, the revolving door of Mr. Freeze actors didn't help, but ultimately, I don't think it's very. I mean, they're all kind of okay in their own way. It would have been nice if they would find figured out earlier to get somebody like better, but like that could have been consistent. But I still think I'm still having a blast watching the show. And yes, there are some things that are kind of, head scratching occasionally, but it's obvious too that the budget is kind of straining a little bit too. We've seen, uh, like, one of the things that helped with the Joker two-parter that we just had was that they didn't need to have elaborate sets. They could just have black in the background. They could just have a black room, and it was like, okay, it's artistic, so we could do that. Um, Whereas, but it shows that when they need to put the set designs and the props, I think this Freeze two-parter was on point when they did that. So, yeah, I liked it overall. And I think some of the best episodes are in the second season overall. So we'll see what happens when it goes into season three. A lot of things are going to change too. This is the final time we're going to get 2 episodes a week. From here on out, we only get 1 episode a week. From here on out, we don't get as many two-parters. Sometimes we're only just going to get a one-parter. And then you've got a new character coming in, and you've got less time to tell a story with more characters. So that's going to be a challenge. So they've got a lot to look at when they approach the next season. But we'll talk about that when we get there, and we're getting there next week, I
Next
think.
week.
What about you? How do you feel about season two?
I liked season two for the most part. And,
Well, some of
compare,
your big memories that you remember from the show, I think, and me too, come from this season.
yeah. So, yeah. And one of the things I liked is we had a lot of Catwoman this season.
Well, that there's no complaints there. I'm certainly not going to complain about that. ever.
So I think we only had Catwoman in
Once.
one two-parter in season one,
That's right.
and then the movie, which we had a different Catwoman.
Yes.
But I don't know. I really enjoyed season two also. I don't see it as going the show going downhill as people are saying. Yes, there's a few episodes that were not as great, but for the most part, most of them were.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a
Hmm.
blast watching season two. It felt like the show had found its legs,
Yes.
and they were having fun with it. So yeah, I enjoyed season two, and I'm looking forward to season three because there are some episodes I remember we haven't seen yet. So
Oh, cool. Cool.
so
And
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to meeting Batgirl. I know I've seen the introduction to her more than once. I know we go surfing in season three. I know we got some flute playing or something, some sort of instrument being played by our heroes. I
yeah.
remember that. I still haven't seen Egghead on his horse or mule or whatever the heck it is. I know that's coming. I also know that somebody's somebody's gonna is in a mining car that breaks through the Batcave or something. I don't know. I got a vague memory of that. That's still the big mystery to me. I want to see that episode. We
Yeah.
still that got that coming. So stuff I haven't seen for a very long time.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it as well. It's not been, I have, some people might not realize it because sometimes it really seems difficult for even me to believe, but I have watched all of the episodes at one time. Many years ago, I binged everything, but this is a nice refresher. This has been a nice refresher. And like I said, some of them feels like, and I'm watching them for the first time again. So, and I'm watching them through fresh eyes with you. So that's always awesome too. So, yeah, we will continue on to season three and then see where that goes from there. But yeah, so far it's still a fun ride.
All right. Well, that all right. Well, that wraps up the show. Do you have a shout out?
I do. We've had three Mr. Freezes now, right? We've had Eli Wallach, and we've just recently, and before that we had Otto Preminger, and prior to that we had George Sanders. All great actors, directors. It's a great talent in their own right, but none of them to me really, really. If someone asks me who my favorite Mr. Freeze is of all time, it's Michael Ansara. And Michael Ansara is a great actor, and I wish they had gotten him to play him in live action because he was around doing stuff in the 60s. It would have been great to have him as I think he could have done a great job as Mr. Freeze. But for those people who don't know Michael Ansara, uh, besides being a great actor in his own right, because he was in a lot of great things, he played one of my favorite Klingons in Star Trek. He played Kang in Day of the Dove, and then he also revised that character many times in other incarnations of Star Trek. And but he voiced Mr. Freeze in Batman the Animated Series. Now, my memory of Batman the Animated Series is that Mr. Freeze this was the best use of Mr. Freeze ever. Like Mr. Freeze really stands out for me in the Batman animated series more than anything else, just because they took this character that seemed like it was one note, all just ice puns and cold puns, and and they gave him purpose and they gave him depth and they gave him a cool ass suit and a cool ass visual look and a cool ass voice with Michael Ansara. And they gave him a story that was really tragic and compelling. Those episodes are not just like a bad guy who wants to rid the world of cash for their own ends or freeze the world. It's a guy who really wants to save his wife, his love of his life, and um, I was surprised to recently find out that out of the 100, a little over 100 episodes of Batman the Animated Series, that Mr. Freeze only appears in less than five. I think he's in four total.
Oh,
And
wow.
that, yeah, I mean, yeah, if you had asked me, I would have thought he was in at least 10, but he was only featured in four. However, he also has the distinction of being in the second animated movie, which was Batman Sub-Zero. And this is a follow-up, if you will, to the best Batman movie, in my opinion, the best Batman movie of all time, Mask of a Phantasm. And this is not nearly as good as that movie, but it's still pretty solid, if you will. It's solid. And you see the the polar bears on the front. That's why I was like thinking that. So when I saw that polar bear in this episode, this two-parter, I was reminded of Mr. Freeze's use of the polar bears in this story. And it is a really compelling story, and it's really well done. Some of it's not, like I said, it's not as well written as Mask of the Phantasm, but it's still it's worth checking out if you have not seen it. I don't think it's streaming, so it's one of the cases of like you could probably rent it on stream digitally, but also physical media. We love our physical media, but it does feature Batgirl, and Kevin Conroy, who's my favorite Batman voice of all time, as well as the usual crew that do the animated series as well. Have you seen this, Drew?
Yes, I have.
It is solid.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I've seen it.
It's a great one, especially to watch on a cold day. Might be better to watch on a hot day now that I think about it. But it's a great movie, and I recommend it, and I recommend all of the Mr. Freeze. I what Batman the Animated Series did, like I said, for that character, really helped define that character going forward. I think it affected the comic interpretation of him too, because I don't think the backstory was that solid, was that well defined in the comics either until uh, Bruce Timm and Paul Dini and man, I can't remember the other producer's name. But that they worked on as well, and that they came up with. So I look, it's pretty good, and yeah, I'm hoping that someday, maybe next year, we will be able to take a closer look at the animated series, because it's one of my favorite incarnations of Batman as well.
Same with me. So you could probably almost guarantee we'll be reviewing that series. All right. And for my shout out, I'm going to shout out about the Legends of the DCU BatChums Patreon. You heard that right. Legends of the DCU BatChums Patreon. So I'm going to announce it here because by the time this comes out, it'll already have happened.
Okay.
But Earth Station DCU is changing their name to Legends of the DCU.
Woo.
Woo, yes. And we're renumbering starting with number one. So we'll still have our legacy numbering, which we'll eventually jump back to, but we are
How
rebranding.
comic booky like it of you.
I know, isn't it cool? So we're gonna have a new name, new theme song, new logo. So the Patreon, you'll see it change. But that's exciting. But that's not my whole shout out there. I'm shouting out about the Patreon because we are reviewing Batman 43.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, we are starting to do that.
the Batman 1943 serial. So I'm excited to dive into it. I know Mike hasn't seen it. I
Not seen
watched
them.
them back in the 80s and the reason why I got them and watched them because back in the 80s, we couldn't get if you didn't if it was if Batman 66 was not on TV, which it wasn't where I was at, you couldn't watch it. But they came out with the serial, so I got them on VHS.
Yeah, I
So
know that they released them like part one and part two, right? They released like all the episodes, I think, on all well, there's yeah, each one is like 15 chapters.
yeah,
Because there's the 43 series that's just called Batman, and then there's the Batman and Robin
Robin.
series, which is a
Yep.
few years after that, which is 15 parts as well. So
I think that was in 47, but don't quote me on that. So I'm hoping we can do that one too when we're done with 43. So,
yeah,
but
I'm
I've seen both of them because I had both series on VHS back in the. I don't have them anymore. I don't know what happened to those VHS tapes that I used to have,
I
but
still have my VHS tapes
I I should probably check out in the garage. I know I have Batman 66 on VHS.
that you recorded off the TV or that you bought.
No, I bought it
Oh, interesting.
because you could get the movie
Yes,
back then.
yes.
Couldn't get the 66 series, but I got the serials. And I've seen them before, but it's been since the 80s since I watched them. So it'll be
Uh,
interesting to review them.
yes. So I'm excited because I've never seen them. I've seen parts of them and scenes of them here and there. But for some strange reason, and I have this, there's been many serials that I'd like to go back and watch: Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, Zorro, Shazam, Green Hornet. There was a lot of serials that were done in the 40s and such. And I've tried to go back and watch them, but for some reason, I can never hang with that. Like I never finish them. I start it and then I just get caught up in doing something else, and I just peter out. So this time I'm sticking with it, and Drew's going to keep me there and stick with it through all 15 parts, and I'm really excited because I these are things I've never seen before. So I'm kind of curious to see where these what these look like. The very first person to play Batman on screen, like Lewis Wilson, let's go. People are like, who? So I'm excited. And yes, we will try to release one of those a week on our Patreon. So for just a little bit of just a little bit of money. Just you don't have to be a Playboy millionaire to be a patron. Although Playboy millionaires can support us too. That would be awesome. We are not opposed. We will, but just for a little bit of, like I said, just a dollar a month, once a week, we will be looking at those. And those are available in addition to, you can buy them digitally. I mean, or you can buy them on DVD. I don't know if there's Blu-ray yet, but I know that they're on DVDs. You can get them, they're streaming on Tubi, they're streaming on other services, and they're on YouTube as well. So that you can find them. They're pretty easy to find. So in case you're just like, I don't know how to get these, they're there. So if you have a hard time finding them, just send us a message, a direct link, or what should they do?
If, if you'd like to comment on anything we've talked about tonight, you can reach us at our feedback line, 317-455-8411. Text us, leave us a message, or you can email us at
There
batchumspodcast@gmail.com.
you go. How was that for a setup, Drew? Weren't even expecting it.
No, I wasn't. It threw me off, actually. All right, you ready to get out of here, Batchum?
Bat chums are ready to move out.
Atomic batteries to power, turbines to speed. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next season, which is next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Don't worry. Season 3 is yet to come.